Hi, I'm astrologer and life coach Penny Dix. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Welcome back if you're a regular visitor here, and a big welcome to new subscribers. If you're not subscribed, I'd love it if you could subscribe to me. So I'm here today to give you the inside, in-depth info to the forthcoming new moon in Sagittarius, which is on November the 23rd. Is this going to be the time that things change? Well, you know what? This is a time, this is an energy to really do it now, whatever it might be for you. Because, you know, if we don't take risks, we never know. So what do we know about this new moon? Because the new moon is trine Jupiter and Neptune in Pisces. So a trine is a lovely, helpful aspect. We've also got the new moon sextiling, which is a kind of little, tinier little aspect, which is a good aspect, Pluto, our planet of transformation, in Capricorn. Mars in Gemini, however, and Mars, remember, is retrograde, is squaring that Pluto in Capricorn. But Mars is also making a nice trine to Saturn, our planet of being sensible and slowing down and just taking our time, in Aquarius. So let's see if we can work out what this might all mean. My thoughts were, what do you want to begin that needs some supercharged energy? Because this new moon could be the sign you've been waiting for. Why is that? Well, Jupiter is the ruling planet of Sagittarius, and Jupiter, my big expansive outer boy Jupiter, who is the planet of opportunity, luck, of kind of truth and spirituality and the ability to ascend to the heady heights of higher consciousness, is really, really a big player in this particular new moon event, partly because it's making this lovely trine aspect to the new moon, but also because today, the 23rd, is when Jupiter stations to go direct in Pisces. Now, Jupiter has retrograded back into Pisces and is kind of coming up to get all up close and personal again, but not quite, with Neptune. Now, both Neptune and Jupiter actually rule Pisces. And do you remember when they met in April? You might have found that your intuition was much sharper, that your dreams and fantasies were much crisper. Well, this energy is going to come back. And what I think this energy is about is that it's like Jupiter and Neptune especially are giving an opportunity for you to actually get those plans that are really important for you out off the table and working. And it will probably be that it has something connected with whatever you were hoping to manifest or create back in April when these two met before. So have a think back. I mean, I doubt you will have to think very hard. I think you'll know very well what this is about for you. And remember, after I've done this little overview, I will go through all your individual zodiac signs. And remember to check out not only your zodiac sun sign, but also your rising sign, also known as the ascendant. But back to the new moon. So, as I said, your intuition would have been spot on at that time. And here is Jupiter again, inviting you to follow your dream. Now, what's super interesting is because Jupiter is going direct also on this day, in Pisces, which is the 12th sign of the zodiac. This is the last sign of the zodiac. So Jupiter has completed its cycle round the zodiac through all the constellations and come back to the beginning. Now, often what happens when a planet leaves a sign, and Jupiter will actually move into back into Aries on the 21st, and I found it eventually when I scrolled down. So Jupiter will move back into Aries on the 21st of December. Now, what this kind of implies is that you are at the beginning again of the whole zodiac wheel. So the fact that this is coming with new moon energy means that whatever you initiate at this time, whatever seeds you are sowing, even if it's just in here, whatever seeds you're sowing, those intentions have like this expanse of the zodiac to work their way through, to meet up with the other planets, for them to help and change and structure and organize for you with your plans as you go forward. So it really is super good energy. So how's it going to affect the planet? Because what's so interesting is I think we've still been in the energy. Now I'm recording this, I think I said on the 12th of November, but we're still in the energy of that lunar eclipse in Taurus. And interestingly, and I noticed, and I don't know how you have felt, but leading up to the eclipse, I kind of thought, yeah, okay, so. Since the eclipse, I felt like I'm surrounded by all that sort of atypical, archetypal full moon energy. And I've been kind of like almost the rabbit stuck in the car headlights that, what's going to happen next? And yet on the world stage, it's been surprisingly interesting and different from what what perhaps we thought would unfold. Ukraine seems to have this temporary respite with the Russians retreating from Kherson. And, you know, I was watching on the news today the jubilance on the faces of the Ukrainian people as they welcomed their own soldiers into the city. And the other interesting thing that has happened with this energy is that the red wave that was expected in America's midterm elections became more of a little ripple rather than a wave. And that, I think, was not what people expected. And there's two people I'm thinking of in particular. One, of course, is Putin. And I just wonder whether the eclipse ultimately brings about his removal from power. And the other is that Trump found himself a little bit eclipsed by DeSantis. So just interesting to keep our eye open and watch what unfolds with this. So what else do I want to say about this? Because I think that one of the things that we have to remember is that Saturn is making a nice trine to Mars, but Saturn always suggests prudence, caution. And I'm thinking about the fact that Troy, for instance, in ancient Greek mythology, thought it was victorious. And when they saw the Trojan horse, they were absolutely jubilant with happiness that somehow they had won. But of course, we know that this Trojan horse actually contained their downfall. So I just think with everything that's going on in the world at the moment as I record this, and I'll get to the point of why I think this links in with the new moon, I think what we have to do is just exercise a little bit of mental caution. Sometimes things seem too good to be true. And there's something about this new moon energy which on one level really is lifting us up and giving us an opportunity for some respite from the difficult energies that we've had to navigate over the last few months. And this new moon will take us into calmer waters. But remember, sometimes there's a calm before a storm. So I just add that in as a kind of, just to be cautious, because we just don't know. But let's see how this energy is going to affect you all personally, because I do think momentarily, this new moon is giving us a chance to catch our breath, to dream those big dreams with hope and optimism. I think the Jupiter stationing direct gives us a wonderful opportunity to really welcome a new kind of chapter in our lives. And projects and plans that you're preparing will really benefit from this energy. And it's as if it sees you completing stage one, perhaps, of something that's been ongoing for quite a while. And it means that when Jupiter does finally move into Aries on the 21st of December, it really heralds a propitious start for your plans as Jupiter begins its new journey round the zodiac. So some final thoughts before I go on to your individual sun signs. And I do hate to embody the energy of somber Saturn, but energetically we're not out of the woods yet. So I just want to sort of remind us to be mindful and consciously aware of these interesting energies, especially as we head through this kind of second half of November and that first half of December, leading up to the full moon that will be in Gemini in the first, I can't remember, it's the 7th or 8th of December. But this new moon really does bring some respite. So I think in general, what it's saying is it is giving all of us, thank God, a chance to just take our foot off the gas a bit and just breathe. Okay, so let's move on to your individual signs to see where this new moon is going to affect you, which part of your life in particular it could be effective in. Aries. So for you, Aries, it's in your 9th house. And you are, of course, the first sign of the zodiac. So everything is kind of in its proper place on the zodiac wheel. And this energy is really giving wings to your plans and ideas. It would be a wonderful time to get involved in some kind of passion or ideal that you feel you could really learn from. It's like, you know, a kind of a workshop or a course that really inspires you. Maybe you want to run workshops or give talks or give speeches of some description to describe the energies of this new moon. I also think that some of you are really going to be feeling the energy at last for you, Aries, has lifted, has just calmed down. You've been through quite a tough time, Aries, and this new moon is really helping you to see distant kind of visions, to really see into your own future and get a sense of what you would like to initiate, to bring into your life. So Taurus, this is quite a transformative new moon for you. If there are projects you're working on that involve others and could involve joint finances to a certain extent, then you know what, do it. It just feels this is something that could be extremely beneficial for you, Taurus. So take the risks. You know, sometimes, Taurus, you can be, well, you're fixed. So you can be fixed and you're not so good all the time at taking those risks. But this particular new moon is really encouraging you to take risks and try different things. You've got Jupiter really bringing in all this wonderful energy for you. So trust that, because it really can give wings to your ideas. Gemini. This is all about new beginnings in your close one-to-one relationships. If something has been a bit fraught, stuck, difficult, if the communication has been, I don't know, just sticky and stilted, this new moon is really going to help enormously. And I do feel that you're just going to feel a lot better about one particular person. Now, that could be somebody you work with as well as somebody you're emotionally involved with. The other thing with this Mars retrograde in your sign is try and pace yourself, Gemini. I think your mind is really racing. It's really overactive. So try and slow down and just breathe, Gemini. Okay, let's move on to Cancer. Cancer. I really feel this new moon is giving you an opportunity to really change the routine that you have that might have got a little bit dull and boring. And I feel that with this energy, you can inject some fun into your routine. You know, it may be that some of the sort of the work that you do, your day-to-day work, has really become repetitive and just, well, as I said, boring. And I think that's the problem with everyday life. A lot of it is repetitive. And, you know, we think, oh gosh, I've got to cook a meal again. But failing that, I've got to think about what I've got to cook. In fact, I've got to think about what I need to buy in the shops. And it's like we just have to keep doing this. And it's this kind of repetitive routine that can really get us down. And I think may have been getting you down, Cancer. But this new moon is helping you to see how you could change things a bit and just make all these routines a little bit more interesting. Leo. So Leo, for you, this is about creativity. I think your creative juices are absolutely buzzing. I think you've got a huge amount of ideas that you want to actually get down on paper or onto an electronic device so that you can actually see how you can structure them and get them to work for you. This is a wonderful opportunity to launch your new ideas. It is just perfect for this kind of thing. I think your mind is going to be very active. I think you're really thinking about how you can up your game with your career and with the projects that you want to initiate. It's super energy for you, Leo. So make the most of it and dream big. So now we come on to Virgo. So Virgo, for the first time in quite a long time, I think you're going to be breathing a kind of sigh of relief. I feel that you will at last feel a little bit more settled in your home, which sounds a bit strange, but I think that you've been rushing around chasing your tail and everything has just been so kind of fraught for you that you haven't even been able to relax in your own home. And that is going to change with this new moon. In fact, what you can do to help yourself is actually just try and shift some of the energy, like, you know, give it a good clean. You know, change a few things round. It can be incredibly helpful when we do things like that. It really shifts the energy. And I just think you're going to be feeling better. And I think you're going to be feeling that you can at last breathe. It is giving you some respite. I think you've been on call to a lot of people. And because you are a sign that likes to help, it's not always very helpful to you. This new moon is a chance for you to actually look after you. Libra. Libra. Well, if you want to write your memoirs, now's an excellent time to start. If you don't want to write your memoirs, then I think you're going to be involved in a lot of communication with your kind of close circle of friends. I think there's going to be a lot of coming and going. And this new moon just feels as if it's giving you a chance again for some respite from part of your life that has been quite kind of challenging. And it's giving you an opportunity to just kick back and relax a bit. So, and this Jupiter energy that is making this wonderful aspect to the new moon is really giving your dreams and hopes to do with the circle of friends that you would like to keep close to you. It's giving that a really good thumbs up. So that's good. Now we come on to Scorpio. So Scorpio, super good news for your finance. This really is super good news. I think you're going to get some very good news. I think there could be a little bit of a kind of unusual bonus that comes. Maybe that's through the work you do, but there's something that is really going to be just like really nice. Even if you only win like a few euros or a few dollars or a few pounds on the lottery, it's like something that just makes you think, oh, yes, okay, well, you know, sometimes life is worth living and good things do happen. It's a good new moon for you. And I think you can relax a bit and not worry so much about how your piggy bank is going to last you for the next kind of, for the winter season, let's say, for the next few months when energy bills can be a little bit ouch and other things could be more difficult financially. So, Scorpio. So, Sagittarius. This is for you. So this, of course, is your new moon. And new moon, new you. I think this new moon is going to do you a lot of good. I think you're going to just feel almost as if you've had a rebirthing experience. You're just going to, it feels as if you're going to feel complete in yourself in a way that you've not been able to for quite a long time. Again, I think you've been run ragged a bit, and I think there's been little niggly health issues which have been difficult for you. And this just feels like that lovely time, or those times we get when we sort of feel that we are totally at one with the universe. I think it's going to give you that kind of access to that kind of higher vibrational energy. And, you know, even if it doesn't last very long, it really kind of boosts our energy. I think when we can just be totally in that flow, like in the moment, so totally, and we're not worried about yesterday, worrying about tomorrow or what we're going to cook for supper. So a nice new moon for you, Sagittarius. Capricorn. Capricorn, how are you? Have you been doing a little bit of navel picking and soul searching? Because this new moon tells me that you're going to start kind of feeling a lot lighter in yourself, in your psyche, in your soul. You're just going to feel as if, I think it's like a lot of things you've been wrestling with, dynamics perhaps of relationships, of conversations you've had, and just trying to make some kind of sense of what's going on around you. Suddenly it's going to be like, I don't know, it doesn't really matter in the same way. And that you can breathe, and that you can begin again, and that you can actually give some attention to you, and that you don't need anyone outside of you to validate you. This, for you, Capricorn, is about personal self-validation. Aquarius. So, nice energy for you too. It's a great new moon, this one, isn't it? Aquarius. What projects have you yet to launch that you've not? Is there something you want to do that involves, I don't know, that just takes you out there more in the community, in the public kind of arena, so to speak? Because I think if you've got some ideas of something that you want to launch, then this new moon is super energy to do it. It feels like if you're into the sort of more esoteric subjects of spiritual practices, that it'd be a great time to do spiritual shows and just really work on building your client base. But if you're not in that kind of spiritual world, it's still a super good new moon for you, because what it's doing is really helping you to see how far you've come. I think you're getting a vision of how far you've traveled. You've had tough energies with Saturn in your sign. Even though Saturn is a co-ruler with Uranus in your sign, Saturn has kind of been quite a hard taskmaster to you. Saturn is. And this new moon, I think, is bringing a little bit of a reward, especially that Jupiter moving from Pisces into Aries is really, really going to lift your spirits. And finally, we come to Pisces, my little oceans of emotions. How are you, my lovely Pisces? How is this new moon going to be for you? Well, super good for career and work. New opportunities, new paths opening up to do with your career. I think it's also a new moon of consolidation of ideas and plans that you had earlier in the year. As I say, round about April time, they are now really taking root, and you can see it's as if this new moon is actually giving you a bit of a vision of the future, that you can really see how life, especially your working life and your kind of public image, your public persona, is actually going to really blossom from this new moon energy, super energy, and a really nice new moon to have at this point, especially with Jupiter, as I said, leaving your sign and moving into Aries. Jupiter will leave you with some kind of gift. It might be a lucky opportunity. So pay attention to what's going on around you, because I think that's what Jupiter's going to do. So, on that note, thank you all so much for joining me for this in-depth look at all the astrological signs, the sun signs, the rising signs, and the overview for the new moon in Sagittarius. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye for now.